Hello everyone and welcome back to Project Fern. I'm Danny and today we're going to be doing a brake bleed on the Escort and we're also going to be doing the oil and filter change. I'm waiting for a few little clips to come off eBay as well, a bonnet stay clip which is snapped and also some brake line clips to lift the pipes up which are an advisory on the MOT. I'm going to crack on now, get the car jacked up and start bleeding the brakes, but first I'm going to show you what bits I've got. I'm going to be bleeding the brakes on my own today. I'm going to see if I can pull it off. I've made this little tub, drilled a hole in the top with a little breather roll. I'm going to put some brake fluid in the bottom of this so the pipe's not sucking in air when I do it, and see how I get on. I've seen quite a few people do it. As long as the pipe is above the bleed valve, the air will always rise, etc, etc. I'll show you that when we get into it. I've got some Super Dot 4 brake fluid. To be fair, the brake fluid on this car isn't that dirty anyway. It looks like it's been changed not so long ago. But I'm going to flush it straight through. And again, I've got my bleed valve pipe spanner just to make it a little bit easier and stop myself from damaging the bleed valve. So first stop is going to start at the the near side rear brake. And yeah, start bleeding it up. There's still quite a lot of the old brake fluid in the reservoir here, so I'm going to use a turkey baster to just suck a bit out and then get as much new fluid into the reservoir as possible. I'm not going to drain it too much. I don't want any air getting into the pipes from the top. So yeah, I'm just going to take out as much as I can but still leave some in. Always put your cap back on when you're not using your brake fluid. It attracts moisture and that obviously causes you major issues in your braking system. I'm going to crack that bleed nipple off on the back now and hopefully we can start bleeding these brakes through. I've got brake fluid coming through, just there's quite a gap there. I think I'm going to cut the pipe down so it's just going up and over rather than having this sagging it. And I'm going to jack the car up a little bit as well because I know that the compensators can lock out, which is why I've got it jacked up under the arm here. You might just need jacking up a little bit more to let the fluid through. Right, I've tried again. I've jacked it up a little bit more. I don't think it's made any difference. I just don't think I was cracking the bleed valve off enough. I've just done it now and loads of air's come out, so I'm going to give it 5 or 6 pumps and then check the brake fluid again. I'm going to turn the light on inside and just move the camera for you so you can see what's going on. I don't know if you can see that, guys, but there's no air now in that pipe. The super nice clean brake fluids come through and you can see the difference in the bottom here. You've got the new fluid and then the old fluid sat on top. I'm going to whip this off now and get the driver's side rear done. Just before I put this wheel back on, now the cylinder's bled up with fluid and all the air's out, the drum has gone a little bit tight as everything's adjusted up, I think. So I'm just going to carry on bleeding the brakes, and then take these back wheels off again and readjust the shoes on the back. So there's just a little bit more movement in that drum. Right, I've got the the passenger side off now. I think because you have to bleed these brakes with the rear under load because of the compensators, I think that's why they switched these two round. With the pipe going in on this one and the nipple on this side, you could literally bleed it, you know, from lying on your back on the floor. I don't know if that's the reason why them pipes went to the other side. It only takes 2 seconds to jack a car up, but again, if you've not got a jack or anything, you want to do things quickly or you're lazy, I suppose you can go to the effort of making a pipe that goes to the other side. That's the only reason I think they've done that. Well, that's the only reason I can think of why they've done that. But I'm going to crack on now with the passenger side rear and then work my way to the front. The passenger side just took ages to bleed through then. I'm still not fully happy with it. There's no air in the pipe when I'm bleeding it now, but I think when I get it in for its MOT, I think I'm going to get them to bleed it again just to make sure, because you don't want your brakes failing on you. But that's both rears done now. This side still stayed pretty free. So I think it's just the driver's side that needs freeing off a little bit, adjusting on the brake shoes. I'm going to get this back wheel, and then move on to the front. I've pretty much used about 1 litre of brake fluid already. I have got another one just in case, but we'll see how we get on when we get round there. The front's just bled up super quick then. This nipple was starting to round off, but luckily I could get the 10mm deep on it. Sorry, the valve. So I've managed to bleed it through super quick, nice clear fluid coming through. So I'm going to move on now to the passenger side, the last one, and then yeah, the brakes are all bled up and ready to go. This is the last brake now, passenger side front. I've cracked the nipple off, there's no air coming out or anything, just a load of dirty brake fluid. So I'm going to pump the brake now. I've topped the reservoir up. I'm going to let it pump through now until it gets to about minimum. Crack the nipple back closed, drop it down and top the brake fluid up and check the pedal. That brake fluid's super clear now. I'm just going to check the reservoir level. Don't know if you can see there, I can't get the right angle, but it's just between minimum and maximum. So, job done on that. I'm going to get the car back down on 4 wheels. Pedal seems solid enough, reservoir's topped up, needs a little bit more in. I didn't want to put too much in and then put the cap on and it go over. I'm going to top that back up in a minute. But I'm going to take the car out now and test the brakes, get it warm and then drop the engine oil and filter. It looks like it's going to throw it down, so I'm going to give it a quick test drive and make sure I don't crash into a wall. Right, that was a quick check then, and it worked. So let's give it a bit up the road and see how we get on. Well, it stopped, I suppose. I can't remember what it was like before I did the work. It's about 2 or 3 weeks ago it's been sat there. I'm going to turn it around in a second and go back down the road. I'm just taking it easy. I honestly can't remember what it was like before I did the work, it's that long ago, but it is braking, it is stopping. The brake pedal seems pretty solid, it's not too spongy. So I think we might be in here. It's not like there's a lot of travel in the pedal either or anything. I'm just a little bit concerned how long it was taking that near side rear drum to bleed through. It felt like they just air kept coming through. I didn't know whether it was leaking from the side of the pipe that had attached to it. But I'm just going to give it a bit more now and a bit of a harder brake and see what happens. I'm insured, by the way. I'm not just ragging it around streets with no insurance. Right, here we go.
Yeah, it seems alright. The brakes were never amazing on these anyway, but I might give it another bleed before it goes in for its MOT. I'll tell you one thing, these cars get well hot inside. Get some cold air coming in, I'm sweating. Right, sort enough that. I'm going to put it back in, let it cool for a bit, and then drop the engine oil. Next job's the engine oil and filter change. I've gone with Titan Race Pro 10W50s. I know for a standard engine you put 10W40s in, but I've been doing a bit of research on it. And with this engine running at about 170, 180 brake horsepower, a lot of people were saying that it's best to go with a 10W50. It's not super cheap, this oil. It's quite expensive if I'm being honest, but it's still, for what it costs, it's well worth it. I've also got a genuine Ford oil filter as well, and I've got a brand new sump plug and gasket. For what they cost, I always like changing the sump plugs too. The little fibre gasket as well came with it. I'll put the Finny codes and links to the oils, the filter, and also the sump plug and gasket in the description below, so you can go and buy them if you want them. I'm just going to let the engine cool down a little bit more now, and then get the car jacked up and crack on with dropping the oil. This is the old sump plug, and this is the new one. I remember seeing these when I worked at Ford on the KAs and stuff. The thread looks like it's about the same. The thread length is a little bit longer. I think I'm going to put the original one back in. No, I'm going to put this one in and see how we get on. I'm going to keep this one to the side, but I'm going to put this one back in with a fibre washer and just keep an eye on it. That's if it fits. If not, this one's going back in. The engine oil's finished draining now. I'm just going to have a quick wipe up and then get the filter down. That's the old oil filter off. Made sure the ring's taken off as well. It was super tight, that. I tried with the ratchet, the filter strap. I couldn't get it on. I tried with my hand, nothing, and I've had to use the big grips to undo it. You can tell it squeaks like mad when you're undoing it. Just always remember to oil that seal or grease that seal before you put it back on, and it just makes it a little bit easier when you take them off in future. That's the car finally down on all four wheels again. The brakes have been bled, the engine oil and filter have been changed, new sump plugs in. Next job's get the oil in. I think these take just over 3.5 litres of oil, 3.75, 3.5, I'm not sure. I'm going to get 3 litres in, get it started up, and then get it dipped, topped up to the maximum level, and then I think it's pretty much job done for today. Right, that's just over 3 litres put in this car now. It's got a bit of a red tinge to it, this oil. I've never used it before. I've used Titan in my Evo, but not that one. So yeah, engine oil cap on now, get it started up and let it get warm, and then we'll do a dip. I've had it running for a bit. I'm going to dip the oil now and see where it is. I don't think it's actually going to show on the dipstick. It was at the minimum line, so I'm just going to slowly start topping it back up now. See how we get on with that. Can you see the red tinge to it? Anyway, let's get it dipped. about halfway between minimum and maximum that. I'm just going to let it settle again and then get some more oil in it. So that's the brake bleed done, engine oil and filter done, new sump plug. It could do with a right good polish up under here. But I'm just going to try and show you how clean it actually is under this bonnet. It's just dusty. It's clearly had some work done over the years and been really looked after. But good jobs there. More jobs ticked off the list. Getting it ready for its next MOT. Right guys, that's it for today. More jobs ticked off the list. Not been the most exciting of videos, but not all jobs are exciting. You just got to get stuck into your basics sometimes. Brake pedal feels okay. Still might give it another bleed before I send it in for its MOT. I'll get the garage to actually do it. Engine oil and filters done, sump plug replaced. Happy with all that. I've got a few little clips that are coming, but they can just be put on before it goes in for its MOT, which is the next job. I've pretty much done everything on that list, bar the advisories for the surface corrosion on the sills and the rear suspension, upper suspension mounts. I've not looked at that brake pipe either yet that he says is corroded. I'm just going to see if it's actually full of gunk. But I'm just going to get that clipped up. I really want to get this car through its MOT and get it back on the road. I've missed summer, which is a bit of a shame, but it's not a problem. I've got my eyes on a few more projects as well, so this car might actually be coming up for sale. It'd be good to show you properly underneath what it looks like and stuff, but I might do that before I send it in for an MOT before that video. But as always, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button. I'm nearly at 5,000 subscribers now, which is absolutely phenomenal. Hit the like button and any comments, put them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.